Welcome to Just Minding My Business Radio, where we are moving at the speed of God, learning what we didn't know we didn't know. I'm your host, Ida Crawford, so grab a pen and paper and get ready for information that you can use.
Hello, and welcome to Just Minding My Business. My name is Ruth Haskins, the co-host.
And I'm Ida Crawford, your host.
We really welcome you this afternoon to hearing our guest, Miss Robin Anetrice Christian. Her middle name, Anetrice, means to love and honor. As founder and president of Anetrice House, Incorporated, Robin Christian puts action into her name by providing practical and compassionate help to young mothers. Anetrice House provides holistic healing, village support, and accessibility to multiple services and or resources to address the multidimensional needs of this population. Her work experience as a child support enforcement specialist with the Office of Child Support Enforcement, as well as work as a law enforcement officer, has prepared her for the role she plays at Anetrice House. Ms. Christian has had a wide range of experiences. Her work experience as a child support enforcement specialist with the Office of Child Support Enforcement, as well as work as a law enforcement officer, is standing her in good stead. Welcome, Robin, to Just Minding My Business. We're so glad that you're able to join us and discuss this very important and often critical situation, and you certainly have the background for it. And I know that our listening audience is really eager to hear what you have to say. So, welcome.
Thank you, ladies, for this opportunity. I am pleased to be with you this evening.
Yes, thank you so much, Robin, for coming on.
You're quite welcome, and I am here to help the community with any information that I need to help this group of women move forward in their life. Absolutely.
Now, let me ask you, Robin, what was your vision in doing this? I always want to know the beginning.
Well, I was a foster parent for 7 years with Hearts and Homes here in Maryland, and no matter what walk of life the young women may have started, their foundation was the same. They did not have the support that they needed to be successful as women and as parents. That ball was dropped when they became mothers and became a statistic. So when I found that was the base for all their problems, I started praying on that to find out what can be done to bridge that gap, to help them be able to become successful parents and successful mothers without having to continuously rely on the government to be able to take care of themselves and their children. And the key is education. And without the wraparound services of having a place to live, having food to eat, they were not capable of being successful in education. That's how I came up with Anetrice House.
Okay. So tell us some of the things that Anetrice House does. Just give us a little snippet of what you provide for the women.
So besides the shelter and food and clothing, of course, we provide them with counseling, a life coach. They have to take parenting classes, budget and management. We get them right from the inside out, help them to get rid of all of the baggage from their past to bring them forward so that they could be clear-minded to absorb their education. They have to maintain a 2.5 GPA in the program. And when you can clear their minds, they can absorb other things. In budgeting management, time management, all those courses are things that are going to help them move through the future, not just as parents, but as women.
Mhm. Absolutely, absolutely. So let me ask you, what are the age ranges to participate in your program?
18 to 25. So the young women will either be in trade school or college. Everyone's not interested in going to college. Some people are interested in getting a trade, which either one is fine. They both are avenues to being successful in the future. So we use 18 to 25 to give them the opportunity to come out of high school, or if they're in the system, they're aging out of foster care at 21. We'll be that gap that they'll need to finish start their education and finish their education and grow all at the same time.
Mhm. That is so awesome, Robin, that you are really purposed in that way to support women, with different situations to be their best self. That is just an anointment, I should say. One other question that I have for you: how long do they stay with you?
They can stay until 25, or they complete their certification for school, finish college, whichever one occurs first.
Okay.
And we'll follow them after they graduate from the program and from school. They can come back to us within, the 12 months. We'll follow them for a year to make sure that they have done a successful job implementing what they've learned in the program and being able to finish, move forward with their degree.
Mhm. And how long have you been running this program?
We officially opened December the 13th, 2017. So we are definitely a grassroots program.
Okay. Awesomeness. Definitely. I love it, for sure. Now, when a woman comes into your program, what is let's say, the application process? What does that look like?
So the application is basic. We get the fundamentals from her, the fundamentals on the child. We assess the relationship of the mom and the dad. That assessment is more on safety for not just the mother and the child, but the other women in the home, to ensure that their relationship is not volatile or can carry over to our home. Not that we will get rid of her, but there may be safety precautions that may need to be put in place if she comes into the program. She has to have a physical. The child has to have had all the shots. Just the basic things on the application. We check her income. Of course, being a part of a nonprofit, she can't make so much to be in low housing, to fit the low housing guidelines that HUD sets. So we have government pieces that have to be met that we can't really finagle. But, just covering the basis of her safety, her health, and the child's safety and the child's health.
Now, within the home, of course, I'm sure there's responsibilities, in running a house. How many women do they have different chores that they have to do, and how do you work that out? Is it so-and-so might have to wash dishes today, or every other day? You know what I'm getting.
Right, and actually, to me, if you can't run a home as a family, this program is ran as a family. These girls are not just in Anetrice House. They are part of my family. We talk, we communicate. They have the other women here. They're not just in here. We're in here as a family, and that's something that's discussed upon entry into the program. If you have issues with other women, which females do when you're hormonal, you have other things going on in your life. Give each other space, obey each other's privacy, but what you don't do is disrespect each other in here. So they have chores. They're to clean up behind themselves, clean up behind their children. There's no maid service. They have to wash dishes. They have to make sure their children are in bed on the curfew time. We run the house just like you would run the family.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Now, I know you just started, so what are some of the challenges that you've encountered thus far?
Challenges. There are a lot of issues when you're dealing with different young women from different backgrounds. I think the biggest one that I've had, not just dealing with females from Anetrice House, but also in foster care. And the biggest challenge is self-respect. I'm not sure if it's a generational issue or what it may be, but they do a lot of things that are not proper, or what is considered in today's society as not proper. So we have to pull them back and just have conversations with them. They're a new generation. They see things differently than I see them. And I know from speaking with my children who are in this same age group, they think differently. They see the world differently. But if they want to be successful in the business world, and if they want people to accept them differently, you have to present differently. Mm-hmm. So that's a challenge that I constantly battle. Presentation of yourself in the public, what comes out your mouth when you're outside this home, because you always represent you. You always represent your child. And that's something that we constantly talk about.
All right. And when you put it in that perspective, it's a little different when you use that word represent. That's a huge responsibility.
It is. It is when you're already dealing with other challenges. You're asking somebody to do something that is out of the norm, for not just for themselves, but for their peers. So they'll get that peer pressure, or you're acting different, or you think you're better than. And I have to explain to them, when you grow, there's some people you're going to lose. Mm-hmm. Be ready for that. It doesn't mean that they're not your friends. They just aren't where you are. They can get there, but they have to do the same thing too, to take a step back.
Mhm. That's so true. That is so true. Ruth, you want to chime in on anything with Robin?
Sure. Robin, this is a really good conversation about young mothers, some of them who are barely out of their own childhood, some of them who are young adults. My first question is, do any of these young mothers come to you pregnant?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So you do have that issue. Now, my other question is along that same line, because in today's society, women, quote unquote, have options. Mm-hmm. And in the process of interviewing these young women, how many have had previous pregnancies that they brought to term? And then again, how many terminated their pregnancies? And what is it about Anetrice House that provides the help that helps them to make the choice to keep their babies?
So Anetrice House is fairly new. So my girls are all moms. Not that this is their first pregnancy, but it is their only child that's living.
Right.
But I
so
can
what is
say
it that about Anetrice House that encourages them to make themselves believe that they can be a mother and carry that responsibility?
Well, I would have to say that being that it's mandatory that they have to take counseling, that's not an option. They're getting to know some things are generational.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the pain that you carry it from your parents, and they carry pain from their parents. So they are learning that forgiveness is a big responsibility for themselves to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
We teach them forgiveness. I can't stress that enough. They have to forgive themselves. They have to forgive their child's father. There's a lot of forgiveness to go around, but you can't get there right away. So this is a work in progress, and that's what our counselor teaches them along the way.
Yes, forgiveness is such a huge issue, and you are in a wonderful position to help. You don't know how many young women will pass through there.
No.
But there's a whole generation of young women who have been in the situations, like you said, not their first pregnancy. They decided to terminate it, or they lost the child because of other circumstances.
Right.
But to be able to encourage young women to know that they can take on the cloak, so to speak, of motherhood and find dignity within themselves and be able, perhaps for the first time in their family, to pass that dignity on to their children. That's so critical. And
Amen.
I really commend you for the work that you're doing, because this can be a really painful experience, especially if, as you brought out, it is generational, that they have seen most of the members in their family, their mother, their grandparents, where the child and motherhood and parenthood is not a respected foundational part of their lives. You're actually helping to change that in a society that is actually trying to denigrate and destroy the family. So you're actually going against the grain. How do you feel about that?
I'm excited because I know it's possible. And, unfortunately, they hear and see more in these streets than I do. I don't watch a lot of TV on purpose because that ignorant box is just that. And I have to teach I constantly talk to them about social media. Put that down. Pick up a book. Spend time with your kids. Find out what's going on with your children. Because if you pay attention, you'll realize you have some really smart kids that are coming up. So I just keep pushing love, respect, honor.
Those are the main ingredients.
Yes, love is the main ingredient, and respect. And that's one of the things that, like you mentioned earlier, it's generational. But as we are older, and I am an older one, I look at so many young ones, and I think about the way that I was raised. I was raised to respect myself and respect others. It was mandatory. And what probably bothers many older ones who have come up through the civil rights movement, through that whole 60s, late 50s, 60s challenge in this country, is to see young people who have no self-respect. And they don't respect themselves, they can't respect others. And even though sometimes it can make us angry, more than anything, I think what we're feeling is a sadness and a pain.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know more of our history as people of color in this country,
mm-hmm.
and what my mother and my grandmother had to endure so that I could have self-respect and demand it.
Right.
And then to see them throw it away. How do you help? I know you've talked a little bit about it, but
mm-hmm.
can you talk a little bit more about the sort of like group therapy that sounds like that goes on in your Anetrice House?
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the success stories or the most powerful stories that you've heard without mentioning names, without
mm-hmm.
breaking anonymity?
Well, I can start with my own story.
Okay.
My dad was a heroin addict. He died from an overdose of heroin when I was an adult, so I was probably maybe 26, 7. But he had been a heroin addict all of my life, and he suffered with schizophrenia.
Mm-hmm.
When I look at these young women, and when we have conversations, they come out that same walk, out these same streets, Baltimore, whose parents are drug addicted. The difference was my mother was the backbone of our family. So even though my dad was a heroin addict, I wasn't tainted with seeing my dad nodding out, because she ended the marriage to save us. But he always was there in our lives. So I had the opportunity to have intelligent conversations with my dad on why are you on heroin? Why are you getting high? Why am I seeing you down on Pennsylvania Gold and you nodding out? That's embarrassing to a child that's walking up and down the streets and your friends seeing your parents nodding off and you going to school and they talking about it. So these young children are acting out. A lot of these children are from drug-addicted families. Truthfully, I believe the ball dropped on not on just this generation. I think it was dropped when crack cocaine became hot in Baltimore. So now you have drug-addicted kids whose parents were in the 80s giving birth to kids who are now having babies.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So here we are growing up another drug addiction generation.
Yes.
So this goes back further than just 90 babies, 2,000 babies.
Mm-hmm.
The ball got dropped a long time ago. We are now feeling the effect of it
mm-hmm.
because we now have 2 generations of drug addiction coming up. And if we don't get a hold of it now, we're going to have another one.
Yes.
Because now we have fentanyl and the heroin and the crack. So it's just getting worse. So the only thing that we can do is to show them that drugs is not the way, and it's hard when you came out of drugs. It's hard when you came into this world with drugs in your system. It's hard when you see your mom and your dad get high every day, and you out here being a squeegee boy, having to provide food for your brothers and sisters so y'all can eat and eat it every day, even though mom is getting food stamps. So now you have to change your whole life, their whole thinking, that everything that they see. Sometimes you got to take them out of Baltimore.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Sometimes you have to take them away. And I can say that just from one of the girls that I have. She went on a vacation, family vacation with my family, my brothers, sisters, my nieces and nephews, all of us went. She went, and her baby. That was the only time she had ever been out of Baltimore.
Wow.
She's 21.
21.
21.
Wow. What was her reaction?
When we came back, she was in her room, and we were getting our stuff and putting the dirty clothes, separating stuff. And I came in the room, she was crying. I was like, well, what happened? She was just laughing. But she was like, thank you so much. I was like, thank you. What are you thanking me for? She said, I have never been out of Baltimore. I never knew that. When we planned the trip, I just planned the trip. She was here.
So
she goes.
You know,
wow,
that's an awesome story. That
is an awesome story. And, you know, something that you thought nothing of, you just doing what you're doing, is like made a world of difference for her.
So now she has made that a part of her family. She and her son. Even if it's no more than, like she said, going to Ocean City, getting on the bus.
Oh, good for her.
Catching the Greyhound over to Ocean City for the weekend.
Wonderful.
That's awesome. Changing that scenery. That's so important. That is very important.
Yep, sitting at the water, just breathing. Just breathing different air. Just clearing your mind, clearing your spirit.
Yeah.
And sometimes when we break out of our comfort zone, even just a little bit at a time, after a while we wind up in a totally new place. And you mentioned it a little bit earlier, that once that starts happening, you do change. You do become different. And the people that you used to know either make fun of you, try to bring you down, or they totally reject you. And sometimes it's your family, which is the hardest part of all.
Yes.
When they cannot accept that you're changing and growing, and they can't be happy for you because they're still stuck in their comfort zone. I heard a wonderful story a few years ago about bullfights. And one of the things that they do as a bullfighter is they keep working at the bull. And the bull eventually begins to start going to the same place to get away from the matador. And when they see that matador and all those who are working with them see that same place repeatedly, they know they can go into the kill. So the answer to that, the scenario to that, is when you stay in your comfort zone, you're going to die in your comfort zone. And what I hear you saying to these young women is, don't stay in your comfort zone. You don't have to. There's an alternative. And like I said, that's highly commendable.
Thank you.
And then the other piece to that, is it really a comfort zone?
Oh, of course not. But it's all that they know.
Right.
So that's why they stay there or keep returning to it.
It's safe.
Okay, Robin, one of the questions that I need to ask, because the parents of these children have came from situations, do you see that behavior in the children?
Yeah. It differs depending on the trauma that the mother has. If the mother has had, say for instance, domestic violence. If it's a boy, you'll see him clingy to her. He won't let her out of his sight. He needs a lot of reassurance that she's okay. If it's a girl, girls are a little different. And for me, that's a little concerning because that leads me to believe she's internalized her fear, that experience that she may have seen her mother go through. So she may act out a little differently later. She may get into relationships that are abusive and think that it's okay because she saw it at such a young age. So you have to, or I should say I have to monitor those behaviors closely because it's my responsibility to make sure that I let her know the things that I see, the things that I know just from experience, that even though we may not see it now, but if she does not replace those images as this child grows with more positive and reassuring and showing that she's stronger and that she's able to handle herself better, then she's going to be in for trouble. So it's always, I'm always a mama, as my kids say. My kids call me. My kids always say I'm Captain Mama. So it's just it's always my mama hat always on, because I see a lot, because I've done a lot, and I've been a mama. So I've been able to take my life experiences, and I let my girls know the things I've been through. This is it's not all Miss Goody Two Shoes on this end. And they know that. And we have conversation. When we have group conversation and we talk, they know. They know that I've been out here. I'm not just, I'm good now. But I have my own story. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I tell them the only way I can tell you what's going to happen is because I've been young and stupid, too. I was a teen mother, too. So, yeah, I've done the stupid things that you've already done. I've already done them.
Been there, done that.
Exactly.
All right. I just want to make sure I got that in. Wow. This is just deep. I am just take my hat off to you, Robin. That you are wearing some really big shoes. And out there being that person to make that change. And I know it's hard because when you're used to what you're used to, it takes time to undo all of that. So how can our audience connect with you? Do you take donations?
We do. So we have a website, which is Anetrice House, ANETRIC as in cat, house.org. Take a look at our website, and I have my email is on there, which is anetricehouse@yahoo.com. If they want to contact me to talk, even if it's a young woman that's on the line listening who needs some guidance, have some questions, they feel free to call. My number is on there. We do have a donation link, and they can click on a donation, make a donation to our girls. All the money goes to the women, the programs that they have to take, and to the housing costs to maintain the home, because we're not grant funded. So, we're pushing. We're pushing.
And you know what? God got all of that, because you're doing such a great justice to humanity. Because when you can change one mind, that one mind will change another mind.
Thank you.
Yes, it is so beautiful, so beautiful. So, one of the things I want to know is, I'm trying to get it framed right. So far, since you've started, I know you're young and you're growing, but are you already seeing, it sounds like you're already seeing change happen with these women. In the example that you said about the young lady who you took on vacation and you caught her crying because of the experience, what other changes have you noticed with the women that you currently have?
Well, I have one young lady. Her relationship with her child's father when she first came, and even though they haven't been here long, he wants to be a part of their lives, but it's kind of challenging from him to be a part of his friend's life and be a part of the child's life, and how to work all this thing out, trying to grow up. And I gave him some information on a men's program that he did call. I was surprised because kind of pushing an envelope. It's not my thing because it's on the men's side, but I could tell that this boy was trying. And I gave him the information. He contacted the group, and he is meeting with them once a week in their classes, just to talk things out. But I'm also working with her because she wants things the way she wants it, and it doesn't quite go like that. So getting her to understand that you're not his mama. You have his child. You're his child's mother. But he has to grow up, and so do you. So don't put him down. Encourage him, because he wants to be a part of this picture. But if you keep pushing him, you keep talking nasty to him, calling him out his name, he's going to be gone. And you're going to be mad, because he's going to get himself together, and somebody else is going to have him at his best when he was trying to be at his best with you and your child.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, because I really think this young man can be somebody, because he wants to be.
Right. I was just going to say he wants to, and he wants his child to see him different.
Absolutely, because he comes out of drug addiction. So he wants different for his child, and that's a great. That's step one. He wants different.
Yes, absolutely. And it's so funny when you have a child. If you have any kind of caring or anything in you like that, you're going to want to change, because you're looking at that little life who is dependent on you for everything.
Absolutely.
And watching every move that you make.
Like a sponge. And that's why I have to tell them all the time, watch your mouth, because your child hear everything you say. Don't say nothing about him that you don't want repeated, because they're going to say it.
Absolutely, for sure. Well, Robin, give us your information again for those who may want to donate and those who may be interested in the services that you provide.
It's Anetrice House, ANETRIC as in cat, HOUSE.org is our website, and Anetrice House at yahoo.com is our email.
Our
phone number.
I'm sorry.
Our phone number is 443-432-5118.
Okay. Now, one of the things that Ruth and I are planning next month, we're going to be doing a back-to-school program show, and we want to know, we're going to do something where we're dealing with kids with special needs, kids that are going back to school that possibly have gone through where there was a shooting at their school and how they're feeling about going back to school, some of the challenges with parents who have special need kids, the stuff that they encounter with going back to school. So we're planning that, and we would love to have you as a guest to beam in on what it's like with your women and, the school, getting their kids to school. What that looks like for you.
Not a problem. We are there.
So if anybody's listening and have a special needs child or a child that has gone through some type of trauma within the school system, or parents, we want to talk about every gamut of what happens, the mindset when it's time to go back to school and what that looks like.
Especially in this era.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because, I every time I hear about a shooting at a school, my heart just goes, oh, my God, is any place safe?
No, there aren't.
And
only on the inside of you.
Oh, yeah, and I know there's a lot of stuff going on with these kids that have to go back to school and probably worrying what might happen this year. Is my school going to be a target? Things of that nature, and as well as the responsibility of, getting the kids' mindsets together to go back to school.
Right. That's a big adjustment.
Yes, it is. And it's even bigger now. I think when I was coming up, it was more about getting your school clothes, getting new shoes. Now it's a whole lot more involved.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was sort of exciting because, I'm going to get some new shoes.
Yes.
All right, but it was awesome talking to you. Ruth, you want to give any last comments?
Well, no, just thank you very much, Robin, for being here and for covering such a really very deep subject. One can look at it in many different ways, and people would think of, this is a wonderful thing to do, but there's so much more to it. You're dealing with real human beings who have a real situation that, you're really helping them to change the outcome. And that is quite marvelous. So thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, ladies, so much for having me. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Much love.
This show is brought to you by the amazing women of A Sister Circle Empowerment Network, ASCEN LLC, where we are never in competition, but always in collaboration. And our valuable sponsors, Prodigy Accounting Service, Next Generation Accounting to get you where you need to be. Contact them at prodigyact1@yahoo.com or online at www.fli-inc.com. Buying real estate can be one of those decisions. Don't experiment with your real estate investment. Contact Realtor Tia Lewis, mad scientist of real estate, creating the perfect formula to solve all of your real estate needs. For a free consultation, call 240-351-0258. Or would you like to know what a Sister Circle Empowerment Network, ASCEN LLC, is all about? Contact us today at asistercircle@gmail.com and visit our website at asistercircle.org. That's ASISTAS circle.org. Voiceovers for A Sister Circle Empowerment Network provided by Ruth Haskins, voiceover actor. To fulfill your professional voiceover needs or to receive her current professional demo, contact Ruth at 443-620-4115.
Thank you for tuning in to Just Minding My Business Radio. I'm your host, Ida Crawford. We hope you enjoyed the show and appreciate you stopping by. Many blessings to you and yours.